Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Luca. This is Yawgmoth Nickfit. This is a deck that Luca and I built together during a coaching session, and when we're done, Luca was like, okay, now go play it on the channel. And here we are. Yawgmoth is, of course, the core of a popular Modern deck. It's in the top 10 most played decks of Modern, according to most websites that track that sort of thing. But it hasn't seen a whole lot of Legacy play. Probably because it's an expensive legend that doesn't win the game, or sometimes it does win the game on the spot, but sometimes doesn't. And in a format with PHYREXIA, you got to be really careful with your legends. They got to be super cheap or super crazy game-winning good in a single turn. And Yawgmoth can be that thing. So let's read this thing. 2 black, legendary creature, human cleric, protection from humans. Notable humans in the format include most of Death and Taxes. And that's probably about it. Monastery Mentor is a human. The monk tokens are not. That's mostly flavor text, but it might come up. The important stuff. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, put a -1 counter on up to 1 target creature and draw a card. That's the most important text on this thing, and we'll get into the sporting cast in a moment. And then black, discard a card, proliferate. That is also flavor text. So there's 2 lines of flavor text that are both upside. It's not like they're bad flavor text, but the really important thing is pay 1 life, sack a creature, put a -1 counter on up to 1 target creature, and draw a card. The reason this is good is that your own deck is full of creatures with Undying. We've got 4 Strangleroot Geist, a Young Wolf, and a Geralf's Messenger. Undying is when this creature dies, if it had no +1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1 counter on it. According to the rules of Magic the Gathering, if a creature has both a +1 counter on it and a -1 counter on it, those counters cancel out and remove themselves, rather than having 2 conflicting counters. The game just zeroes them out, and the creature has no counters on it anymore. Therefore, if you sacrifice a Strangleroot Geist to Yawgmoth, pay 1 life, put a -1 counter on Geralf's Messenger, then Strangleroot Geist will return with a +1 counter on it, and then you have Geralf's Messenger with a -1 counter on it. Then you sacrifice Geralf's Messenger, which comes back into play, dealing 2 damage to your opponent, and then you put a -1 counter on Strangleroot Geist, canceling out the +1 counter that the Undying ability gave it, and then you can bounce these 2 back and forth, drawing a card and making your opponent lose 2 life for each 1 life that you have. Young Wolf works the same way. You can loop Young Wolf and Strangleroot Geist and draw cards until you run out of life points. Geralf's Messenger, as long as you have twice as much life as your opponent when you start this, they'll die. And if you get a Zulaport Cutthroat in the mix, whenever Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, gain 1 life, then that cancels out the 1 life you pay to sacrifice the creature, as well as it drains your opponent out, even with a Young Wolf and Strangleroot Geist without the Geralf's Messenger. That is the Yawgmoth combo. You can even, in sticky situations, put the -1 counter on the opponent's creatures. And these creatures can still die twice, and you can just Young Wolf, sacrifice it twice, draw 2 cards, kill a creature that's bugging you, kill a Delver. If your opponent doesn't have Delirium, Dragon's Rage Channeler is a 1/1. Unflipped Delvers are 1/1s. Maybe a Boo token. You could pick that off at instant speed every time it gets made, as long as you have creatures. Take some pressure off and draw cards. And that's what Yawgmoth is doing in the deck with all these weirdo cards. When we brewed the deck, we had to balance being a functional Legacy deck with being a functional Yawgmoth deck. And that's how we got to 4 Strangleroot Geist, because that's the best one on its own. Just green, start attacking. Puts real pressure on opponents. Can soften up their life total. With the help of Ignoble Hierarch, it can be a 3/2 when it attacks on turn 2. And you can still play another spell. Really potent aggro plan. The Modern deck plays a lot more copies of these, but we needed to keep up in Legacy as well. We've got Cabal Therapy. Little disruption for you. Also happens to go well with a deck that with creatures that can die more than once. Green Sun Zenith is a card that is banned in Modern. And we get access to that one. That can find the Yawgmoth, the Strangleroot Geist. Or in the bullet package, we've got Collector Oof, Scavenging Ooze, Endurance, Grist, and Elder Gargaroth on top of all that, plus the Veteran Explorer. We haven't even really mentioned that this is a Nick Fit tech yet, other than in the beginning intro. Cabal Therapy combos with this card, which is a card that wants to die. Yawgmoth can sacrifice this to put a -1 counter on something, draw 2 cards, and tutor up 2 lands. Phyrexian Tower is a sack outlet for Veteran Explorer. If you sack Veteran Explorer to Phyrexian Tower, you get black, and you search for 2 other lands. You can just cast Yawgmoth right there. That's 4 mana, self-contained. And we also get to play Diabolic Intent. CEDH staple, Diabolic Intent here. It's just a Monarch tutor, but you have to sacrifice a creature. 1 and a black, sack a creature, search a library for a card, put it into your hand. Again, lots of these creatures don't mind dying. And some of them, in fact, prefer dying in the case of Veteran Explorer. The Modern deck has to play a bunch of Eldritch Evolutions and Horde of Callings. Green Sun Zenith and Diabolic Intent are more potent tutors than those 2 cards and let you go off from lower resources. And we got Grist. Grist pumping out a bunch of insects, destroying Murktide Regents and Narsets. Really important roles, tutorable by Green Sun Zenith. It's also a pretty viable win condition, which doesn't come up a whole lot in Legacy, but does come up a lot in the Modern deck. If you're nickel and diming with Strangleroot Geist attacking for 2 to 4 a turn, and maybe some Zulaport Cutthroat triggers happen, and your opponent starts to get stable, but their life total is sub 10, Grist can just start plussing, and you might naturally get 5 to 7 creatures in your graveyard just by milling. Or Yawgmoth can come down, sack a bunch of creatures, draw a bunch of cards, and then there are 7 to 10 creatures in your graveyard, and you just blast with Grist -5. I've lost to a number of Grist ultimates in Modern when the board was otherwise stable. So this deck's coming at you from multiple different directions. Sylvan Library, of course, a card that does not exist in Modern. And we spread 4 Endurances across the 75, 2 in the main, 2 in the board. That's just a great Legacy card, great against Delver, great against combo. We got Toolbox, we got Combo Kill, we got Fair Plan. We got a lot of boxes checked here. I am genuinely excited to try this out. Let's go play some Yawgmoth Nick Fit. I'm on the play in round 1. I do have a turn 2 Grist here. Or I could Therapy and slow down a little bit. I think I want to chase the Grist. Or I could Therapy and turn to, what's his name? Explorer, Veteran Explorer. That sounds pretty good, actually. I'm going to Therapy. I'm going to blind name Brainstorm. Either Brainstorm or Force of Will. I'm going to try Brainstorm. The blind turn 1, game 1. Oh, we got 2 of them. We got 2 of them. Good start to the league. Put your 2 cards in the graveyard, please. We see Prismatic Ending and Elspeth Knight Errant over there. Elspeth's a little concerning because that's a good way to spend 4 mana that they're going to have on turn 2, because I'm going to zap them with the Explorer here, but I'm going to name Elspeth on the ending. I don't have to take damage from Peatland because of the Yavimaya. Veteran Explorer, get in there. Immediately flashback. Yes, I would like some additional, just getting swamps, because everything's a forest right now. So I have to name Elspeth. Elspeth Knight Errant. Haven't seen that one in Legacy in a long time, but I'm a fan. Force of Will was the pickup. Let's make some sense out of what we know about the hand. 4 cards in it. I can play Strangleroot Geist. I guess I'm going to. Like, they can Prismatic Ending it, but my hand's full of things that are worth Prismatic Ending. Time to start attacking. It's cool that I get to get my F6 value in this Golgari deck. There's the plateau. Fully expect the Prismatic Ending here. There it is. Okay. Oh. Did you draw a blue card for Force of Will? I still think Grist is a better card to resolve. Like if I'm casting a bait spell, but here's Gargaroth. I almost said Gargadon. Gargarino. And they can hardcast Force next turn, so this is still the time to do this. Force to get you down to just Mountain in hand. Swords of Plowshares is a clean answer to this. They're not going to be able to Prismatic End it. There's the Mountain. Uh-oh. We're cracking fetches. This. 5 mana. Timeless Dragon. Too small. I have a 6/6 Vigilance Reach Trample, which can draw cards, make beasts, or gain life. I probably just want to draw a card. Back. Yeah, Zenith was a good draw. Let's try a Grist here. The last cards in hand are Force Blue card. Okay, so I get to throw Veteran Explorer at Timeless Dragon. There are, I think, exactly 2 basics left in my deck. And we're going to learn more about our opponent's deck here, too. Yes, I am out of basics. No need to explore any further. I'm a mana short of Green Sun for Ooze and pick off the dragon, so I'm just not going to make that move. Is there something worth Green Sunning for here? Could put a Strangleroot Geist into play. You might as well, right? I guess if I was going to do that, I should have mapped this out pre-combat. Still going to do this now. I get a little Geist action in. Just another thing in play before they can hardcast Force of Will. Oh, I drew the Zenith off of Gargaroth, so I couldn't map this all out pre-combat. Okay. That makes me feel a little better. And a haste creature pressures a Teferi that might come down. Timeless Dragon is back. Okay. Ooh, the Yawg. Black, black. I'm a black mana short. So Gargaroth wants to draw a card then. Or I could put 2 counters. Right, I'm going to plus Grist. And then go for Yawgmoth. Oh, I'm many black mana short. What am I even talking about? This is not how that works. I think I should... Yeah, for some reason, 3 + 2 in my head was 4. It's not. Surprise, that's not how math works. Force of Will still comes down next turn. We have stayed off of hardcast Force this whole time. They've even ramping them. They've been using just enough mana every turn not to get a 1-for-1. Okay, cool. Sack a creature, put a -1 counter on a creature. I'm going to sack Strangleroot Geist, a -1 counter on Timeless Dragon. Wall Therapy. Okay, I know what's in that hand. I can -1 insect token onto Timeless Dragon, or I can -1 insect token onto Strangleroot Geist, and then do that onto Timeless Dragon. That gives me more draws. Sack insect. -1 Geist. I can Zenith for Young Wolf now. Where does that get me? I can draw cards till I'm happy, but I can't combo just yet. I still have my land drop and Zulaport Cutthroat somewhere in my deck. Could go off this turn. I'm going to Zenith for 1. Grab Young Wolf. Sack Geist. Put a counter on Timeless Dragon. Draw Ignoble. Sack Young Wolf. Put a -1 counter on Strangleroot Geist. Blur, not what I'm looking for. Sack Geist. Put a counter on Young Wolf. Okay, opponent's conceding. They believe that I can figure this out somehow. At the very least, I was just going to make Timeless Dragon too small to trade with any of my stuff and just ranch for more damage. That was a good start to this league. I love when the deck does the thing on the first try. What am I doing versus this blue-white deck, or Jeskai deck? Thoughtseize is a card that I enjoy versus most blue decks. Collector Oof is not important to this deck. We saw Timeless Dragon, but there's a bunch of endurances in the deck. I don't know that I need Ooze specifically. I like Trophy. It's going to ramp them every time. They have at least 5 basics in the deck. But my deck is built to ramp them anyway. We're not playing around that. I like keeping Gargaroth around as a top end in the Zenith pile. And it's not a really great card, but it's not bad either. Sylvan Library on the draw against what's certainly a Narset deck. Don't love that. Okay, I'm going to chill on one of the Sylvan Libraries. I could see cutting the other library for another Endurance, just playing to the board a little more. I'm so low on Sylvan Library as a Magic card in general. Obviously, if we stick it, it's great, but Prismatic Ending and Narset versus us on the draw. 2 therapies, an intent. I can sack a Dryad Arbor. I'm not sure this is the type of hand I'm interested in, though. If it comes up with a Zenith, it's good, or the homie directly, the Explorer. I guess I'll try it. Ponder, okay. We're just going to Therapy Brainstorm again. Kick this thing off. Did not shuffle. Alright, I'll just Therapy Brainstorm. Even if I miss, that's at least the card that can hide the information best. Prismatic Ending, a Jaya Fire Negotiator, and Narset. Cool. Jaya goes plus to make a 1/1 Prowess Monk. I did mention monk tokens are not humans. I did not have this in mind when I said that. Volcanic Island. Ignoble Hierarch. I'm going to take Narset off this Cabal Therapy. Unless they brainstorm in response, then I'm disappointed. Narset, Parter of Veils. Get out of here. And they drew Snapcaster Mage. Okay. I don't know if they're going to spend a Prismatic Ending on this Ignoble. If they do, that's kind of okay for me. Oh, I guess I could have just popped Ignoble and taken the Jaya. Or waited a turn to turn this into a Cabal Therapy. Yeah, I guess the fact that this doubles as Cabal Therapy is a good reason to just pick it off. They've seen Grist, Yawgmoth, the Undying Creatures. That's what I was betting on. Of they may not even target this thing, and if they do, it's the ending out of their hand. But maybe with therapies in my graveyard, intent in my hand, I should have been a little chiller with my creatures. Yeah, okay. They didn't fall for it. All right, come on, creature I want to sacrifice. Grist is cool. Bayou. Grist. If they have Force, it's the only unknown card in the hand. I'm going to make an Insect and immediately strip this Jaya. The gamble paid off. Floating the Ignoble out to the Prismatic Ending was part of the plan here. And let's take this Jaya. Oh no, you have Brainstorm? Or you're raw dogging a Snapcaster? Sure. That's not what I was going to take. Jaya Fire Negotiator. Get out of here. Found another Narset. Oh, I wish you drew that last turn when I was naming it anyway. Okay, Narset's a pretty good find here. Grist, Resolved Grist versus the blue deck. I've been on the wrong side of this enough. They are pressuring it a little, but an Insect in front of Snapcaster doesn't pressure anymore. There's that Narset. And she found Prismatic Ending. All right, Grist is in danger. Plus Grist. If I Diabolic Intent, like I can flashback Cabal Therapy, name Prismatic Ending, and try to keep Grist around for a turn. I can Diabolic Intent, lose Grist, but tutor while I can. What does Intent do here? I still have my land drop this turn, so I can Gargaroth next turn if I think that's going to be helpful, but they have another Narset activation. I could Intent for the Haste Spirit thing and put 2 damage on Narset, but it doesn't kill her, and it gives them an even better target for Prismatic Ending. Probably not interested in that. I could just Intent for another Grist. I could Intent for Veteran Explorer, cast it, Cabal Therapy, ramp. Then that leaves them with 6 mana in play and an Narset activation. I also have Dryad Arbor available. I could just play Fetch Land, pass. And I'm going to cast Intent this turn probably, but I can leave an uncracked Fetch Land in play. Maybe I do just Intent for Gargaroth. It is just a big dumb thing that's hard for them to tangle with. It's either Gargaroth or Yawgmoth, I think, are the 2 options here. And Yawgmoth kills Oh, right, no, I'm going to lose my grist to the Prismatic Ending, that's right. Gargaroth is pretty bad against Swords to Plowshares, but so is Yawgmoth. Oh, and there's a Narset in play. Right. I'm getting big Gargs. The Garg Daddy. Could also just got a replacement Grist. Keep that train going. Snapcaster's putting damage on Grist. Which, does that mean they're not going to end it? I mean, I'd love another turn with Grist in play. Just keep giving me value on that one. Deal. Oh, shit. That's really good. I'm going to fetch Dryad Arbor in response here. At least start the turn with a creature. Yep, I am, in fact, a green deck. Northern Explorer. Okay, plus Grist. Oh, I milled Cabal Therapy. Life is good. I'm going to attack Narset. I'm going to start there. Before they have 4 mana in play. Northern Explorer. Cabal Therapy. Not sure what I just clicked on. I clicked on a forest, then tried to unclick the forest, and then it resolved. Okay, I got a forested swamp. All right. Been naming Brainstorm a lot so far. Do I name Jaya? It seems like a card I'm really worried about. Snapcaster, Ponder, Timeless Dragon, Prismatic Ending. All right, my other name of Brainstorm was not going to hit. It's like they did get to keep a Prismatic Ending after spinning themselves out of Prismatic Ending. Man, Days Undoing. Yeah, good one. Probably not winning this game. And I spent a lot of time in the tank, so I'm way behind on clock too. And did my Grist. You got it. Still casting spells. In fetching the Dryad Arbor in response to Days Undoing is the difference between this Narset going to the graveyard and not. Oh, Narset found Narset. Tight. I guess they knew that. They just pondered. Snapcaster. Are we ending my insect? That's aggressive. I'm at 19. That's weird, but okay. Let's just rip Greensun Zenith or Gargaroth off the top. And a Ponder from hand, sure. So we know their hand is Narset, Timeless Dragon, these 3 lands we've seen, and whatever the Ponder is about to draw. Pretty close to perfect information here. I'm going to fetch. There's no Brainstorm in this deck. The closest thing is Sylvan Library, and that's not going to be a relevant player in this game anyway. Okay, I'm just going to pass the turn. We are losing fast here. Uh-oh, red man in the pool. Expressive Iteration. Strong. Teferi. Teferi is probably enough to win this game. I mean, they've already won this game. They have a 5/5 in hand, 2/2s on board. Bouncing Dryad Arbor is pretty annoying. And I can still Zenith for Gargaroth. And among the face-up cards I know about, there's not an answer to it. Narset's pretty good at digging, though. Swords of Plowshares. Okay, Gargaroth officially bad. And leaving up white going into my turn. Tough crowd. Thoughtseize. I'm going to concede. I don't want them to know Thoughtseize is in my deck, and I'm definitely losing this game. Okay. Was not prepared for Days Undoing. Don't really have a different plan for it. We've seen Snapcasters now on top of the Timeless Dragon, so maybe Endurance is something I'm interested in. And we've confirmed seeing Narset. Not only are they a deck that contains Narset, they're a dedicated Days Undoing Narset deck. I think I like Endurance here as another way to battle Planeswalkers. I almost feel like Veteran Explorer is better for them than it is for me. It's a pretty awkward spot to have your ramp deck. But I can play fair, I don't need to ramp. As far as Nick Fit deck goes, this one we built intentionally to be responsible about how much mana it needs and how goofy the goofballs are. Like, Yawgmoth and Elder Gargaroth are not that goofy in the scheme of all the goofiness you could have in here. I don't want to bring Plague Engineer in to name Monk and just head off one of the Planeswalkers, because they also have Elspeth, who makes a different type of creature. Yeah, not really interested in that. I do like the haste creatures. Maybe Ignoble Hierarch is the worst one here. Yeah, if they're a deck full of removal, Veteran Explorer, I can at least get in and out of play before they have priority to do anything. Ignoble I actually care about all the time. On the play, no disruption, just some land drops. I think I got to do better. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, here we go. I will keep this and send Dryad Arbor to the bottom of the deck. I'm going to lead on Ignoble. With my land drop available, I don't really care if this dies. But if it doesn't, I get to crunch for 3 with Strangleroot Geist and play Veteran Explorer. Or Mod Script. Okay. And me without a Collector Roof. Alright, that's a better card to play than Veteran Explorer. Another Hierarch. And they're pretty clearly representing Swords to Plowshares, but I'm still gonna put my pressure down. Brainstorm in response. Alright. Someone looks like they're taking 4, unless they Force of Will. This is why we maxed out on Strangleroot Geist and just put one of each of the other Undying creatures. This is the one that can actually just mash on its own. And we're in there. We have a bunch of exile-based removal. I don't expect it to be around next turn, but here we go. Take 4. Beat off an awkward brainstorm to try to find an answer to it. I am certain that they did not have Swords to Plowshares in their hand. They might have Prismatic Ending now. But that's still, they got to spend their turn doing that, and I can attack for 2 with a Noble, or with a Ignoble. Yep, that's gone. Endurance would be a great draw. Right, Explorer. I'm going to play Zulaport and Veteran Explorer. Just sort of like going wide with a bunch of shitters here. I don't want Teferi to be able to stabilize a board, and the Exalted is actually huge right now. That's my Mana Dorks push for a real number of damage, just in for 2. Any Planeswalker they play here, I have enough creatures that I can just bash it for 3. A Sweeper deals 4 to them, and we get to search for some lands. Exile-based removal still a concern, though. Always will be. Stupid Tundra decks. Who made the Legacy community think this was okay? Did not shuffle their Ponder. Going to attack for 3 with Veteran Explorer. Attacking with just Explorer gives me better Exalted triggers. Attacking, but plays into a single Swords to Plowshares. I'm going to tap a Hierarch to get my other Explorer into play. And I guess I'm playing my last land, all in. Okie dokie. 4 mana. Lots of scary stuff can happen on 4 mana. Supreme Verdict, Elspeth, Jaya. Yuckers. Okay. You take 5, and we search for some things. I am Hellbent, which I don't care for. We are both about to get 4 mana, which is a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, they could even just still cast Jaya this turn. Or Elspeth, or Jace, or whatever the fuck. Basic lands in your blue-white control deck. Outrageous. Who would advocate for such deck building decisions? Hey, here's all my lands. Yes, you can't Jaya or Elspeth with this mana. You can Jace. Maybe just don't. Narset. Cool thing about being Hellbent is I don't care about Days Undoing. It refills their hand, but it draws me 1 card that I didn't have before. On another Supreme Verdict. Definitely fetching Dryad Arbor in the end step. Whether I attack Narset or my opponent is actually an interesting decision. Dryad Arbor, there you are. Ugh. I'm going to attack my opponent. I have haste creatures, I have grist. I'm going to try to put 1 point on here, put you down to 4. Geralf's Messenger, X2 is 4. And I'm not bluffing anything here. Like, they're not going to play differently around Endurance. So I'm just going to play my land, crack my fetch, and get a land out of my deck. Just trying to draw bangers right now. Flash creatures, haste creatures, ETB trigger creatures. That's what I'm looking for. There's Jaya, who can make Prowess Monks. Uh-oh. My Dryad Arbor beatdown strat is now invalidated. Nice monk. Pretty cool. Wow, just cracking off Tormod script on me? What does that do? Are you worried about Gurmag Angler? You know, Tormod script leaving play just gave me some breathing room. Now my graveyard synergies could turn back on. Snapcaster targeting. I guess you can ponder here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter, but that was a really strange and irrelevant Tormod script. Okay, we're undoing the day. Okay. Oh, I guess it takes all of the cards from my graveyard out of the pool of things that I could draw. Were you worried about those? Assassin's Trophy was so good, but the Bayou was so bad. I'm still gonna kill Jaya. The card's gonna be a problem. Force of Will puts you to 3. Pitching Narset. We're getting closer to victory here. Come on, Geralf's Messenger. This Jaya is just gonna bury me though. I don't have the Plague Engineers in. I still don't think it's right to bring them in. But that is the type of card that would help me in this type of situation, but I was trying really hard not to be in this situation. The Teferi can mess up my Dryad Arbor. And their life total is very low, but Prowess Monks win games quickly. Ooh, a 5-mana spell. Timeless Dragon. Okie dokie. So I need Geralf's Messenger, and it needs to resolve, and it needs to never die, is what you're saying. I'm not blocking with Dryad Arbor. I could get a trade off the Snapcaster, but there's so many having a creature in play synergies in my deck, like Diabolic Intent for Geralf's Messenger is a line I'm interested in. They bounced my Arbor. That line still works. Eat. Oh, there's an Narset in play. I'm gonna have to slow my roll, but I do get an extra card this turn cycle if I survive it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They have to cast 5 spells this turn to kill me. Teferi and Narset are both sleepy. No card advantage. Words there. The backup Narset. I mean, they could have enough spells to kill me here. Brainstorm, found off of Narset. Yeah, they only need 2 more spells. They are pretty likely to do that with 8 cards in their hand. I think they got there. Yeah, there's 1. And another 3 looks. Looking at 8 cards here with the options to shuffle and see a 9th. My play here is nothing, because even if I draw a card and it's a removal spell, Teferi's in play. Alright, cool. That was a sweet deck. Had the powerful Planeswalker on board plan, and then also the Days Undoing combo, which did drop in both of the games they won. Good shit. Cool deck. On to the next one.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
On the play in round 2, and because Urborg's in my hand, I can curve Strangleroot Geist into Geralf's Messenger. I'm going to keep this. Even have one of my 2 0-mana plays in my main deck, if necessary. A Mountain. Goblin Lackey, okay. Strangleroot Geist is a nice one to put in front of that. Ooh, Zenith. So is the other guy. Explorer, but this is a deck with basic lands. I think I'd rather just put Geist into play and chill. The question is, do I fetch? I can play around Wasteland for this turn, which makes Wasteland even better on the following turn, because Urborg taking me completely off black sucks. But I can get Geralf's Messenger into play at least. Or Endurance, whatever. Got that Munitions Expert curve over there. Looking at their hand, shaking their head. File, you got it. No attack. Did not think so. Ooh, Yawgarino. I can Urborg. I can't actually do everything I want to. Can barely do anything I want to. I can play Urborg, hope I draw a land. I can play Urborg. I'm playing Urborg, it's my land. I can play Geralf's Messenger and hope to spike any untapped land to Yawg and go off next turn. I can Zenith for Dryad Arbor now, lock in the land, but I don't get Geralf's Messenger. I could play another Strangleroot Geist and sandbag my land, but then I definitely don't get Yawg next turn. I think Geralf's Messenger is a good investment here. Just play to any land, and that lets me start attacking on the following turn. Even if they wasteland me, I can play Strangleroot Geist and attack with at least one of the creatures, maybe 2. And if they don't wasteland me and I draw a land, I can just win. Okay, no wasteland, come on. Played a mountain, that's not a wasteland. Count it. Anyone who plays any modern would know what I'm up to at this point. I don't know how familiar the Yogg combo is to pure legacy players. I know it's not like part of our metagame, but do people who don't actually play modern know about this deck? Because most of the whining on social media and stuff is about Money Pile or Ragavan, or nobody's really complaining about Yawgmoth. So if you don't play the format, maybe you don't know about it or how it works specifically. I don't know. There's been a really long pause in the Declaric attack step. Like they're figuring out, is Goblin Lackey worth putting a +1 counter on this Strangle Rootgeist? And maybe if your hand has another Lackey in it, that'd be pretty good. That doesn't stop me from comboing unless there's also a removal spell involved. Vial's on 1, so they can't vial in the new goblin that when a goblin dies, you can flip a card and cast it. The Rundvelt Hordemaster, I think is what that card's called. I don't know. They're weighing their options, but I'm happy to slam my Undying Creature in front of their Goblin Lackey, if that's what happens. Wow, they tanked for like 3 full minutes in combat, then passed the turn. Come on, land. Is that good? Not really. Is this a Zenith turn? If I Zenith for 1, I can get Young Wolf. I could just Zenith Collector Oof, but that turns on all of the removal spells they've been holding back. I could play Veteran Explorer and Zenith for another Veteran Explorer, or I could Zenith for Young Wolf. I can get 2 things into play here and make blocking a challenge. Okay, I am going to Zenith for Young Wolf. Hope we don't get opposition agented. I have seen that popping up in various creature decks. Oh, Ignoble Hierarch is a card in my deck too. I could get Ignoble, attack for 4, play Veteran Explorer. Okay, I'm actually into that. Deck with Big G. Ignoble Hierarch is a great target for removal in it when I'm otherwise not giving them any. But Goblins is a deck that's got to attack eventually. Having Veteran Explorer in play someday will help my mana. Also helps theirs, though. I guess they could, like, Munitions Expert my Veteran Explorer, then untap and Muxus. That would be shitty. And then they have to win on the spot. The Muxus actually has to present lethal, or at least clear my board, because Yogg's coming. I don't know, worth the risk. And they have to have all the things that I mentioned. Cracking a fetch in the end step. It was already a black source thanks to my Urborg, but getting the land out of their deck makes sense. Oh yeah, they're going for it. Are you picking off my Hierarch, or... Okay, we're doing the ramp thing. This was a calculated risk, and let's hope it works out for me. I am getting 2 swamps. In case Urborg gets wastelanded, I want to make sure I can deliver on my win con. Alrighty, here we are. Vial's going up to 2. Now the Rundvelt Hordemaster is live. More Munitions Experts are live. 6 mana. Is there a Muxus amongst us? Oh, fuck yeah. You love to see it. Okay, I haven't lost yet. These creatures all have haste. Does that kill me? I guess it depends on what's in their hand. I can block the Muxus itself. Do I even need to do that? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage coming through. I could just go to 3. That seems bad, though. I'm going to block Muxus. And they get 2 Lackey triggers. Probably should have blocked a Lackey with Ignoble. That's not really changing the game right now. Oops, Sling Gang. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not enough. And no second Goblin. I need the Zulaport Cutthroat. Uh-oh. Well, yeah, Sling Gang will do it. I only get 2 Yawgmoth activations before it's over. 1, 2, 3, 4, Do I attack first? And does it matter? It does not matter. Here's Yogg. Target Strangle Rootgeist. Or wait. I know what I do here. I target Slingang first. Go float. I cast Veteran Explorer. Oh, that was so bad. If they ramp again, that turns on Goblin Crater Maker, which may or may not be. Alright, I'm going after the Slingang. Let's start there. However many creatures you're going to commit to killing me needs to happen now. Oh, I only had one left. How many do you have left? How many basics are over there? Just one. Okay, so you have 6 basics in your deck and I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they can put me to 2 here by sacking their whole board. But if they go too deep, then I can just like play out my creatures and stuff on the... Okay. Left me with 9 activations here. But the Crater Maker can pop. Okay. Let's try it. Target my Strangle Rootgeist. Sacking Geralf's Messenger. Messenger's back. You take damage. Geist gets smaller. Crater making Geist now was probably best use of that. I don't know. We're going pretty deep here. Come on, Cutthroat. Or if I find Cutthroat, Intent. What does Intent do? Nothing without the mana. Okay, sacking Messenger again. Drinking Geist. Okay, going for the Crater Maker. I'm going to float black off Ignoble Hierarch and respond by sacking Ignoble. So I don't get to draw a card if I... Or yeah, I do. No, I don't. Okay. There's a better way to do this. If I sack Ignoble Hierarch targeting Messenger, and then sack Messenger targeting Geist, I think that's all the same thing. Or... Alright, I really got to figure this out. I don't have great Yawgmoth muscles. No muscle memory here. So the Crater Maker will resolve. Geist will come back with a counter. Oh, I know what I need to do here. Cancel. And then pitch cast Endurance. And sack that, targeting my Strangle Rootgeist. This is not activated as a sorcery. Okay, sack Endurance. Get to keep my Ignoble Hierarch. Endurance is gone. Crater Maker. Oh, now I can sack Geist in response. All right, yeah. We were pretty set up here. I do need the PAL though. Oh, does that get me the PAL? It does, right? Phyrexian Tower. Sack 2 things. I have 1 black floating. I can make black, get Diabolic or cast Diabolic Intent with black green floating. Then I can play. Yeah, okay, we're in there. Phyrexian Tower. Sacrifice. Oh, wait. My A sacrifice trigger short here? Because I need to sacrifice another creature in between. Oh, this is tough. Oh, I can just Diabolic Intent the Strangle Rootgeist. Or what the fuck is happening right now? How do I do this? Sacrifice the Geralf's Messenger? I think this all works out the same. Right, sacrifice Geralf's Messenger. 3 mana. And then pay 1 life. Sacrifice Ignoble Hierarch to put a -1 counter on Geralf's Messenger. Through Young Wolf. Does that help me? Is that what I was missing? Wait, how did my Messenger die? What the fuck just happened? Oh no, now I'm definitely fucked. Wait, what did I just do? I put a -1 counter. Oh, I sacked. I did that backwards. God damn it. I'm gonna misclick my way out of this. Whoops. Okay. Young Wolf go into play. Diabolic Intent. Sacrifice Young Wolf. God, that sucks so fucking bad. Yeah, I just misclicked. I was thinking about the sequencing and... Okay, guess I lose. That was thrilling. 1 mana in the pool when I need 2 because I sacked the creatures backwards. Okay. My fault. Can't be mad at anyone else. But yeah, I sacked Geralf's Messenger to put a -1 counter on Ignoble rather than doing it the other way. Just lost track of my clicks there. Lucksack wins. Yeah, true that. Okay, Plague Engineers come in. Pernicious Deed comes in. Force of Vigor, probably don't care. Endurance, probably don't care. Elder Gargaroth is sweet. Endurance is whatever. Collector Oof, they do have Aether Vials, but also whatever. They're probably going to have Graveyard Hate. And maybe I do want Force of Vigor if I intend to go through my graveyard. I have a bunch of Assassin's Trophies. Wall Therapy is not that important in the matchup. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. Oh, the misclick. I might have still been 1 resource short, but also sucks, we'll never know. No colored mana to get this started. Sucks because I have the tower and the whole shit otherwise. Mulligan. Okay. I'm gonna keep this one. Sylvan Library, present in the hand. And I think I want to send the Scavenging Ooze. As much as... Do I need a second Ignoble Hierarch? Who's the Goblin deck here? Alright, I'm bottoming the second Ignoble Hierarch. There's the Leyline, sure. Ignoble Hierarch, get in there. This gives me a 2/2 body in case they do lead on Lackey. Please cast Aether Vial. Damn it. There's a goblin. Alright. Man, Sylvan Library sucks. I can't even cast it. Like, turn 2 Sylvan Library. Too slow. Out of here. Oh. I'll take that one. I guess I have to fetch Bayou here. Ignoble Hierarch and Bayou are both pretty fragile. I'll just double up on it. Put your goblins in the trash. We both have a powerful black card in the matchup. Good draws, team. Good draws. Veteran Explorer, which doesn't work with Leyline in play. Still going to put it into play. And I'm going to play the Sylvan Library. Still a 1/1. Can't take that from me. Attack for 3. With Exalted. Ooze can arrive as a 3/3. I have the 3 mana and there's a creature in the graveyard now. Matron straight to the garbage, tutoring up an answer to Engineer. Expect a Crater Maker here. It'd be a great time to draw Cabal Therapy. Hint, hint, wink, wink deck. Second Yawgmoth. And Cabal Therapy. I don't need a second Yawgmoth. It's not worth 4 life. Diabolic Intent. I guess I can hold on to that. And I'm going to attack for 3. Save my discard spell for the second main. Give them some hope. And then rip it away. Wall Therapy, naming Goblin Crater Maker. Let's get a look at that hand. Goblin Crater Maker with Pithing Needle and Goblin Matron and Sling Gang Lieutenant. And there is a Wasteland over there that they have not used. I can Diabolic Intent for another Plague Engineer. I could intent for just a land. I could also just play Scavenging Ooze and not intent at all. That sounds reasonable. There's the Wasteland. We drew a card. Alright, drew a castable 4-drop. Put another Ringleader and a Lackey in hand. Not great, but not nothing either. There's Yogg, and okay, cool. Put Yogg back on top. Don't think I need this Ignoble Hierarch either, though in a Wasteland Society. You want to be careful with my life total, but also, whatever. Pretty far ahead here. I can attack with all my creatures. I think that's what I want to do. Just put the most damage on the board. Yeah, I don't want to let them just chump block when I'm doing all this extra. No blocks. I'm gonna eat the creatures out of the graveyard. Get huge here. Bang. Take 8. Go to 6. Shuffle away that Yawgmoth. I'm gonna get a forest. In case they draw another wasteland. My hierarchs are my black sources at this point. And so they would have to kill Plague Engineer, put Lackey into play, and get haste somehow all this turn. And then Lackey puts in Sling Gang, which isn't even like GG, it's just pretty good. I don't know if the deck is capable of all of those things I just said. There's the other Ringleader. Showing me a second Crater Maker, okay. and a second Sling Gang. So Crater Maker is still on the table. I can Diabolic Intent for another Cabal Therapy and take that. Ooh, Phyrexian Tower. I was gonna tutor up another Plague Engineer this turn, but now I don't have to. I will pay 4 life to keep this swamp. And then second Plague Engineer. And that'll do it. The game is over right now. Put your goblins in the graveyard, and it will attack you for more than your life total. And Crater Maker doesn't work now either. Just shrugging off a ley line, no big deal. It had impact on that game, like that Veteran Explorer didn't play forever, but wasn't that important. Deed, Grist, the Engineers, Library did keep me in that game, but I had to Miracle top deck, and that was turn 2 on the play. I'm worried about this card. I could bring in some Thoughtseizes. Like, it's not a good answer to turn 1 Lackey, but it does at least affect turn 1 Lackey. Real bad top deck, though. Could bring the Endurances in just as booties. Oof and Outland Liberator both have text. Outland Liberator takes out Vials or Leylines. I guess I like that one more than I thought I did now that I've definitely seen Leyline. And there's no artifacts in my deck. There are some in your deck. Yeah, Oof for shutting off Vial, Endurance for being a booty, or Force of Vigor for hitting Leyline. Those are my options here. Or Thoughtseize to try to add up against turn 1 Lackey a little bit. That sounds pretty bad, though. Alright, Collector Roof is in. I'm doing this version. I can interact with Lackey. I'm going to keep. I can stuff a creature I'm happy to die in front of it. That's the best we can hope for. They kept a 7 with Leyline and Vial, sure. Since you have Leyline, I'm going to go with Hierarch instead of Veteran Explorer. I'm going to go with Bayou, just have my mana be good. Casting a mana creature, if they want to like spend a turn wasting me, and I guess with Vial ticking up, it's kind of tougher than it would be otherwise, but I'm still ahead on mana with the mana dork. Second Vial. Alright, come on, Zenith for Oof right now. Mog Fanatic tilt. Oh, do you have Wasteland too? That would be the best. Okay. Another Hierarch. Just keep that going. I should have fetched for a land there. Just a land in my deck I can draw now that I don't need to do. Mog Fanatic, so good. Missing land drops though. Zenith for Oof is a big deal, but the Vials are up into a point where they could put Wasteland off the top. Great. Didn't have it last turn, or would have used it last turn. Zenith, Zenith, Zenith. Oh, Pernicious Deed. I don't mind if I do. We saw Pithing Needle last game, but I'm still putting this out because if I can get it for 4, that clears the Leyline as well. And next turn, that is the number I'll have. I have a blocker, and they're running out of cards in hand. Wow, Vial didn't put in anything on 1 or 2. That might just be insulating against the Deed at this point. Okay, putting a creature into play that dies to Pernicious Deed. Sure. Do they think I'm not going to activate it? What's the game here? I guess maybe I didn't have the 4th mana source. I'm going to Deed in their upkeep. I'm going to give them a chance to see what comes out of these Vials, but I'm not going to give them a chance to Vial on 4. Yeah, like Matron is the thing that affects the board meaningfully, or affects the game meaningfully. It will leave the board soon. Runvelt Hordemaster could play here. Okay, yeah, I'm going to respond to... I guess I could have done that in the end step, because now they can Matron again, or that was not necessary. I just don't want to get like ringleadered, so I want to clear the Vial before it hits 4. Okay, there is 1 mountain versus 3 lands. I can Strangleroot Geist next turn, which now has text because the Leyline's gone. Ooh, double Geist. I'm gonna Geist and Peatland though. Strangleroot beat down. Old original Innistrad standard coming at you. And they've had enough. Strangleroot Geist, too good. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play against a Wizards of the Coast staff member, Xander P., who also said they're a fan of the channel. Good to know I am known within the walls, the hallowed halls of Renton. Also, I can plan ahead knowing that my opponent has Moto Premium. Which is totally a thing. I think I want to lead on Yavimaya. I don't know if that's going to help them or not, but if I can fetch like basic swamp next, just get my mana set up right. And leading on Hierarch gives me the options to double spell next turn or just grist. Get to work. Flooded Strand, that's also a forest. Oh, okay. The path is now clear. I'm going to fetch for basic swamp. And then cast Strangleroot Geist and Young Wolf. I probably should have tapped Ignoble Hierarch to play Geist and then played the Young Wolf after combat. There's just a little extra information during combat that I didn't need to give them. I don't think it matters much because like there's still one very clearly good Swords of Plowshares target here. Okay, could be a combo deck, could be a control deck. Didn't get Prismatic Ending. That has me a little worried. Fetching another basic swamp. Yawgmoth. Am I getting counterspelled? They mentioned they like my channel. Do they like it enough to cast actual counterspell against me? A card that I've recently reintroduced to the format. A plow in response. That makes sense. Sure. Okay. Guess I'll attack for 2 and then see what happens. Don't really want to sacrifice any of the creatures that I have in play right now. I can sack Young Wolf to make it a 2/2, put a -1 counter on Yawgmoth. Yeah, sacrifice another creature, put a -1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Yeah, he can target himself. Stoneforge Mystic, that's what we're doing here. Okay. Tutored up the Batterskull. The old Splatter Skull. Young Wolf does not have haste. If I can just put a -1 counter on Yawg now, but then Young Wolf doesn't have a counter on it going into next turn, but it attacks better. Grist can generate a creature. Okay. I'm going to put a -1 counter on the Yawg itself. Oh, no. I see what they did. It's built in. He has protection from humans. They don't need to say other creatures because he is himself a human. That's so smart. Neat. Oh. There's a Strangleroot Geist. Okay. Green. Black. Zenith. Find this Strangleroot Geist. And I'm going to target Stoneforge Mystic first. Because the first death is free to target another thing. -1 counter on Geist, sack Young Wolf. Try not to misclick this one. If the pal, the Cutthroat is in the top 17 cards in my deck, we win here. Collector Oof and Cabal Therapy, both great answers to Stoneforge Mystic. Just doing Yawg stuff here. Finding lands. Oh, there you are. Cool. That was quick. Let's see if it sticks. Zulaport Cutthroat. Alright, we're in there. Turn 4, Yawgmoth combo kill. Good stuff. Playing against a blue Stoneforge Mystic deck. I like the Thoughtseizes. Endurance could be medium. I usually like Endurance against any deck with Planeswalkers. But going for the combo's nice. Gargaroth is so sus. Like, Swords to Plowshares is a card in this format. Collector Oof. There are equipment in the deck, but a lot of the equipment in these decks these days don't really get activated. Like, Jite may or may not even be in this deck. Like, Batterskull and Cauldra. Batterskull's pickup is relevant. And in super late games, the re-equip on either could be relevant. Certainly seen it happen. Outland Liberator. Is that a card I want to make room for? It's a zenithable removal for Batterskull instead of just turning Batterskull off, which doesn't matter if it's just attacking you. I am going to leave my libraries in. I'm going to give them a chance. This is the type of matchup where, if there's a matchup where they thrive, it's this one. Okay, I'm going to chill on Outland Liberator. Give the Thoughtseize a chance to do their work. Oh, missing a black source. I am on the draw, but this hand is nuts with the black source and just so bad without one. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 black sources in the deck. Slightly worse than 1 in 3 cards in my deck is a black source, and I get to see 2 cards before. All right, I'm not afraid of 6. I'm gonna mulligan. There's my black source, but now there's no green source. Let's go again. Here's both. Perfect. Keep, send the forest, and I don't think I need 2 explorers. At least I hope I don't. Off we go. Oh, you're a green deck? Oh, is this the Harlan deck? The Harlan Blade? Or not Blade, the Minsc and Boo 4-color blade deck. I played that on the channel last week. Go check it out. It was actually really good. Okay, Cabal Therapy can hit. I could name Stoneforge Mystic, take pressure off. I could name Brainstorm, deny options. I could also just wait a turn and go Therapy, Explore Therapy right away. I think I want to name Brainstorm. Just get a look at what's going on over there. Lock in some information. Brainstorm, Icefang, Quaddle, Stoneforge. All right, Stoneforge would have been a good hit, but good to know. The reason I didn't name Stoneforge is because it's not that important. On the flashback, I can just name whatever Stoneforge searched for. Unless they hit a Force of Will on top of the deck. Bayou. Veteran Explorer. How'd we do? Is it in? All right, Cabal Therapy, Zapia. I get to take your Cauldra, but you get to cast Icefang Coatl. A lot of basic lands in this deck. Time for Sylvan Library to shine. This Coatl, I guess, could still rip a Force of Will here and counter the Therapy, which would be a pretty good play, honestly. Still just naming Cauldra. Brainstorm, Ponder. Oh, found the Batterskull. All right. Library, let's go. And off you go. Got a number of cantrips to look for Prismatic Ending, but only one. Oh, there is 2 fetch lands in hand, so they can come up with another white source if they need to. If they Brainstorm this turn, then they won't have enough mana to put Batterskull in and ending my library. Did not shuffle. Played a land. Oh, am I getting Minsc and Booed? Oh, Narset. Yep. I love Sylvan Library. Have I mentioned how good this card is? Awful card in Legacy right now. Okay. I'm not going to draw any extra cards. It's really funny. It's so funny. I guess I'll play the other one, though. I can't even really fetch Dryad Arbor here. We know there's a face-up Swords of Plowshares from the Narset. Yeah, this is definitely Harlan's deck, and there's a Minsc and Boo. We're good. I'm out. We're all set here. Alrighty. Minsc and Boo. I could Plague Engineer Hamster. Yawgmoth does control the Boo trigger, at least on the surface. Sylvan Library against this Narset Prismatic Ending confirmed deck. Don't love that. Really don't like that. Oh, but Snake too. Hamster and Snake are both things worth naming. This deck does have Jite in it. The Thoughtseizes and Therapies just punching through the combo. That's probably my best route to victory. I'm over Elder Gargaroth. This is a Swords to Plowshares deck. Get out of here. And with the number of basic lands in their deck, Veteran Explorer might be just a liability. You can have some of them in the deck, but like it's not even that exciting to pop it off. Okay, here's my deck. On the play, okay, I have 2 therapies and Explorer. I'm going to keep the shit out of this hand. This is a lot of discards, if that's where I want to be. Do I continue with the naming Brainstorm path? I can therapy 3 times next turn, or I guess it's just twice. I'll have Bayou, cast the Explorer, Tower, sacks Explorer, gets me 4 mana. Yeah, I could Messenger and therapy sack Messenger. I could therapy 4 times in the first 2 turns of this game. That also ramps them into Minskin Boo though, and I probably want to hold back a creature to tutor with Diabolic Intent. There are not any wastelands in Harlan's build of this deck. Hope I'm safe here. I am just dead to wasteland. I'm gonna blind name Brainstorm. Show me the money. We got one. Oh, 2 Ice Fang Coatls. Pay me. Pay me. 2 Coatls is awkward though, because I need to therapy before I can. Yeah, I can't use the Explorer or else they get to cast the Coatls. Alright, therapy naming Ice Fang Coatl. I'm just going to take a turn off here and play the Phyrexian Tower and pass, and I'll see what next turn looks like. Oh yeah. To shreds, you say. Okay, cool. Just because your deck can do a thing and is built to do a thing doesn't always mean it's the right thing to do. Now I'm going to go for it and probably just die to Minskin Boo. Okay, some options here. I could Diabolic Intent, or I could just big money and explore. There's 2 basics in your hand already. Sack for black. Yeah, let's sack for black. Use the ability, yes. Get Swamp Forest. Then play another Explorer. Or do I Geralf and Intent the Geralf? That actually sounds pretty good. You lose 2 life. Please don't plow it in response to the trigger. Cool. Diabolic Intent. Sack this and tutor up a Yawgmoth. Yeah, I think Yawg is the call here. Yeah, that's an engine. It does stuff. Let's go. One's got a shitload of mana. But Messenger can mash Minskin Boo. Just land go. It's good stuff. Okay, I can play. Good attack. I think I want to play out my creatures first. This way, if they Ice Fang Coatl my Geralf's Messenger, I can make it small enough to undie again. Bash for 4. And let's shrink this pal. They're probably going to find more basics than me. I only have 1 left, but I would like to draw a card. Young Wolf off the top. Young Wolf? Oh, Diabolic Intent. That is so close to being something I want. I can sack Geralf's Messenger. It comes back. Yeah, I guess I should do that. Oh, wait, no, because then I have to sack it again. All right, nope. Can't do it. Just have to sit my big ol' Zombo in play. Teferi. Okay, that can bounce Yawg. Yeah, there's no targets, no way to draw a card here. Or can I sack a creature? I can sack the Messenger targeting itself, but it'll leave play so I won't draw the card. Yeah, too bad. Okay. Yawg's in my hand. I can sack the Messenger to Phyrexian Tower in response to a Swords to Plowshares, so this thing is removal proof at the moment. It's tempting to just sack it floating black in the end step, but that gives up my plow protection. I'm going to assume this Brainstorm just shuffled away these lands. I don't know anything about their hand anymore. Ooh, fail to find. Good stuff. Prismatic ending me. Do it. Do it. Joke's on you, sucker. I put all your lands into play for you already. Still got to shuffle away the Brainstorm, though. Narset, powerful card. It does tap them out of Swords to Plowshares, but Endurance could still be a thing. You know, I can just kill Narset anyway, so sacking that thing, blowing the Undying Bubble, doesn't make any sense. I think I just attack Narset and then replay Yogg and see where we go. Force of Will, boo, boo. There's a therapy in my graveyard. We're fine. I'm not going to drain you for 2, not going to challenge your life total straight up just yet. Dryad Arbor, that's cool. That's a creature that just goes away. No! They found the... Had the surgical. I mean, using it on therapy is pretty aggressive here. At least that does guarantee... Forgot to exile the ones in my graveyard. Okay, opponent did not exile the ones from my graveyard, which is a Moto thing. Like, you actually do have to click the ones. I'll pretend they're not there if that was actually a misclick. I just checked in the chat. Okay. I will not cast those cards. Attack Narset. Yeah, sometimes Moto misclicks are like, you know, you can't pretend it's not there, but it's very easy just to not flashback that card from my graveyard. Okay, Dryad Arbor. Diabolic Intent. Sacking the Arbor. Thoughtseize is in my deck, if that's what I want. I could just get Grist. We just get another Yogg. You might also just force this. I don't know. Don't really care about Teferi. I could grab Thoughtseize, check what's going on in the hand, and then do Yogg stuff next turn. That sounds reasonable. Thoughtseize you. Force of Will is hard castable next turn, but I'm actually more worried about Ponder. Yeah, I can take the Ponder and sack Gralf's Messenger right now to cast Yogg, which I don't have any Undying Bubbles, but this is 1 point from lethal, and Force of Will doesn't help you. Can't crack that fetch land in your hand. Took your cantrip. Plus Teferi. There's the Vista that is not safe to activate. It's some creature, please. Oh, that's a good creature. Plague Engineer on Snake. The thing I was worried about was Ice Fang Coatl. Okay, cool. There goes the Force. Still gonna attack, I guess. And I'm sending all of it at my opponent. Opponent's at 1. Got 2 lethal attackers. Couldn't answer either of them last turn. Where are we going here? We got the GGs in the chat. And we're out of here. Deconstructing fair blue decks with our discard combo plus onboard value engines. I would be scared to play against this deck with a blue deck. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot going on here. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play. I think that's 4 die rolls. Losing Complaint Equity quickly. I'm going to keep my hand. It has a turn 2 Veteran Explorer. I'm going to Cabal Therapy Brainstorm off of a Bayou and hope this works. Brainstorm, 2 Ponders, 2... there were multiple chances to hit 2 things there. Bummer. It is Delver. And currently not a Wasteland in the hand. Now the age-old question. Do you get your threat into play? Do you ponder, try to change your hand? That Pyroblast is not going to find a target. Man, what if I just named Ponder instead? Crazy. Sliding Doors. Delver, fetching a basic. That's probably a mistake, but you don't know that yet. Green Sun Zenith. I'm glad they didn't Ponder. I hope they didn't draw Daze this turn. Got Veteran Explorer. And I'm going to Cabal Therapy you, naming the Ponders. I'm going to get black and green. Yeah, I have 2 Assassin's Trophies in play. Yeah, this is good shit. I'm going to name the Ponders. Get rid of those. There are... Oh, you drew Lightning Bolt. There's 2 of a kinds all over the place. Okay, Bolt, Delver, Pyroblast. Could get just speed run right out of this game. I think I should spend a trophy on Delver right now. I could also trophy their island right now. Then they would have to rip a land off the top, which sucks ass if they do, but is incredible if they don't. I'm doing it. Going for the island. There's not another basic land in their deck. They can't counter it right now. This turns off Daze. Just do not draw a fetch land right now, and we're going to get along just fine. Uh-oh, Delver didn't flip. Draw Murktide? Oh, no. Okay. As far as lands go, that one's not too bad. Oh, okay. I think if I play Collector Oof, I can get black. Yeah, that's still not enough to do everything I want to do. I could Cabal Therapy the Lightning Bolts, Assassin's Trophy the land again. I can't cast Giraffe's Messenger straight up. There's not enough black. I would have to sacrifice Oof into the tower to get that. I could Cabal Therapy Delver, play Oof, Cabal Therapy Lightning Bolt, or I could ignore Lightning Bolt and just Cabal Therapy Delver and put Collector Oof into play. That sounds reasonable. You can't cast Lightning Bolt anyway. You got to come up with a red source before anything in your hand does anything, and I'm going to play Collector Oof here. Just invest in the future. If Delver doesn't flip, I can tangle. If Delver does flip, then that means they didn't draw a red source. Delver did not flip. Drawing creatures I don't really care about right now. Strangleroot Geist. Okay, I can go green, Geist, sacrifice Geist, make it bigger for black, Grouse Messenger, and crush. Strangleroot Geist. Make black. Get my Geist back. Play Grouse Messenger. Flashback Therapy, naming Lightning Bolt, sacking the Messenger. Now I'm just winning the race. And I'm worried about Murktide Regent, which I am holding the Assassin's Trophy for. Murktide Regent is in the small pool of cards that would not have flipped Delver and wouldn't have played a land. 2 cards left over there. Let's bash. Yep. And yeah, I have the trophy. This is the thing I would be worried about. Delver didn't flip. So, okay, they're probably very excited that they drew that land and think they're in good shape. I love punishing a main deck Pyroblast. Nice inbred metagame. Here's my Golgari deck. Did not attack with Delver or Diabolic Intent. Can I just win right now? Probably not. I can trophy though. And attack. Black-green, trophy the Murktide. No, there's nothing left to search for. That was fun. Delver sucks ass. Hey, Endurance, good against Delver. Plague Engineer. We'll see what I end up cutting. Plague Engineer on human does have some amount of relevant text against Delver. Pernicious Deed is pretty good. I think my rankings are Endurance 100%, Deed probably, and Plague Engineer maybe. These are the 6 cards I'm looking at in the order I'm looking at them. Collector Oof can come out. That's one. Gargaroth is actually great. Some builds play Unholy Heat, but those builds usually don't have Delver of Secrets in them. Those are like the bigger, more DRC focused builds, so I think Gargaroth is actually just gonna mush if we get it into play. Diabolic Intent's actually pretty bad because sacrificing the creature is the cost of the spell, and then if your spell gets countered, you get 2 for 1. And against the Daze deck, I mean, a lot of our creatures don't care and sometimes even like getting sacrificed, so that may not be a huge deal. I am gonna at least acknowledge the fact that that is true. If I hit submit right now, I have 1 intent and no Plague Engineers in the deck. Is that where I want to be? I like Ooze. I like Wolf. I like all my Hierarchs. I like Grist. I like Yawg. Dragon's Ray Channeler and Delver. Notable humans when they can't fly. Zulaport Cutthroat. That card is important to comboing off, but Delver's really good at picking you off. Like if they're not bolting your moving pieces, they're dazing and forcing your payoffs, and maybe, and Cutthroat sucks pretty hard when you're not actively comboing. Would I be happier with Intent and Cutthroat out? Having a little life gain in the pile is nice, though. Maybe it's actually Young Wolf and Intent out and the Plague Engineer's in. I don't normally like Plague Engineer against Delver, but then every time I don't bring it in, I see a spot where it's like, oh, well, they have Delver and DRC in play right now that will both die. I'll try it, whatever. Just checking off boxes, bringing in anything that can help me be alive a little longer. I hate this Dryad Arbor in my hand. I like the rest of what the hand is doing, though. No removal, though. No disruption at all. Lots of mana. All right, I'm going to keep it on the strength of lots of mana. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Wrist. That is one of the better cards that I have in my deck. I'm leading on Ignoble to start pushing ahead of Daze. Like, getting Veteran Explorer dazed is pretty annoying. When once it's in play, they don't really have good ways to get rid of it without giving me a bunch of lands. Yep, Hierarch's much better to Bolt. Veteran Explorer is much better to Daze. And I just, as usual, decided to play around Daze. Sorcery and instant in the graveyard. No fetch land. Just Steam Vents tapped. Okay. Abamaya, that's not the play. Veteran Explorer, playing around Daze. And no Cabal Therapy to shove into Daze, unfortunately. But unless they can get 2 card types in the graveyard, Explorer is holding the fort right now. Expressive Iteration. How far can we go? Oh, there's a creature. If they hit a fetch land, they're delirious. Okay. We went pretty far, is the answer. I probably just have to play Grist next turn if they hit their land drop here, and if it's a fetch land. If it's a non-fetch land, then I get options to hang back a little bit. But Grist picking off DRC and ramping me is pretty nice. Delver of Secrets in Exile, they missed. Field Anticipate, go. That's what we're doing here. Maybe I will slow down. Let's see what my draw step is. Basic Swamp. Yeah, I'm not going to shove into Daze if I don't have to. I'm just going to land go. I'm not going to attack because they're not going to block, and my life total is more important than theirs. If I get another miracle turn where they don't find Delirium, it's pretty unlikely, but I want to at least play to the possibility. Ooh, into Force of Will, which means that's either not the land they were looking for and they're just desperate for that, or they already have a Force of Will. We know their hand is all spells because they've missed the land drop. Show me a shuffle and a pass the turn. Shuffle, pass the turn. There is one island kicking around in their deck, so they do have something they can get off Veteran Explorer if it ends up dying. Did not shuffle. Delver. And pass the turn? Oh, wow. Okay, now it's time for Plague Engineer. This is the board state we boarded in for. Assassin's Trophy. That's a little comforting to find that one. That's my Murktide insurance. They have to force if they're going to interact with Grist. Daze isn't good enough. I'll at least get 2 cards off it. If they even care. Like, maybe they just let this happen, then attack it. Which I think is a reasonable thing to do. Force pitching Daze. Okay. Did have it. I was right to play around it. It's countered. And I will... And they left their card on top. I don't think Explorer is going to block this turn, but again, I just don't think that 1 point of damage is going to change the game. Like, if they left a land on top for DRC, then Delver doesn't flip. Okay, Ponder into land might flip both of these things. Also might keep missing. Yo, DRC didn't attack. Okay. Does that mean you have Murktide Regent? Yeah, the only reason not to Ponder and try to flip your DRC pre-combat is because you want to lock in your Murktide Regent for a second main. Oh, right on time. You dingus. Green, black, Assassin's Trophy, the Murktide right now. Do you have a second force? Please don't. Yeah, no force. Do I want to push this Endurance now? Wait till their turn. Really don't want it to get dazed, but I also don't want them to play another Murktide Regent. I'm going to get a little greedy here because I feel like I'm behind. Let the DRC trigger resolve. That in the graveyard. If this Ponder resolves, they can Murktide right away. All right, I'm going to Endurance now in response to the Ponder. If you daze, you daze. But maybe don't always have it. Always. Yeah, but I still think that trying to stop the Murktide development is worth taking the shot there, because they forced pitch dazed. They played a bunch of cantrips where, like, with 5 mana, Daze may or may not find a target. Like, they may have selected Daze out of the game in opportunities where they could have done that. I think it makes sense to go for it there. Plus, Yawgmoth is an expensive spell that I would like to resolve next turn. Taking 6, go to 10. Another channeler. Oh my god, there's that thing. Every time. Alright. Black, black, colorless, colorless. Here is Yawgmoth. Oh, I need another black somehow. Wait, how is that possible? Oh, did I tap my... Alright, apparently I tapped Urborg for green. Hey, Yawgmoth, please don't force blue card me. Okay. I should attack with Veteran Explorer this time. This one's totally free, because this thing's dying this turn anyway. Yeah, take your 1. I'm going to put a -1 counter on Delver. And I get some basics, which can cast the Plague Engineer. Still exposed to Daze here. Not pretty. Geralf's Messenger. Putting that into play doesn't really help me. Yeah, I think I need to Plague Engineer and just hope they don't have Daze. Would be the 3rd Daze of the match, or of the game, if they have one. Okay, Plague Engineer kills Delver outright, and then shrinks the DRCs. And I still have my land drop, which I can sack Dryad Arbor to draw a card and make DRC smaller. And if they bolt, I can turn the bolt into -1 on a creature. Progressive Iteration, yep. Good stuff. Show me something I don't care about on the exile. Misty Rainforest, alright. That can get the Mystic Sanctuary. Okay, so if I put a -1 counter on a DRC, it's 1 life either way. Like, I can pay 1 to shrink it, and then take 1 instead of 2. So I think spending Dryad Arbor to draw a card here is, like, basically free. You go to 5 here. Don't know anything about your hand, except that it's probably spells. Okay, at 5. Kind of hope they just cast Murktide Regent and leave my life total alone. Like, if they don't represent Bolt this turn, I get to do a lot more than if they do represent Bolt. Alright, there's Murktide. No Bolt being represented. 2 cards in hand. Come on, Zulaport Cutthroat. I board that out? I did, didn't I? Oh no, I left it in. I boarded out the Intense, so I have to hit the Cutthroat straight up. Veteran Explorer nets mana, so I should play that. I do have 2 basics left in my deck to search for. I can finish off a Dragon's Rage Channeler. So if I find an Endurance along the way, those are dead anyway. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I do actually have enough to explore Tutor twice, or get the 2 lands, Messenger, Strangleroot, and then Endurance is actually a play. So I am going to go for Murktide Regent with my Veteran Explorer target. 2 basics, and every land is everything, because I have Yavimaya and Urborg in play right now. Scavenging Ooze, okay. That does the same thing, but better. Okay, black, green, Scavenging Ooze. Are we in? Please don't have force. Please don't have force. Please don't have force. Oh my god. Eat your Delver, which gains me a life and kills your DRCs. Cool. Strangleroot Geist. I'm going to lead on Geralf's Messenger, because that one is cooler. Just hope that Daze doesn't happen here. Submerge my Yawg. Response. Sure. Okay, yeah, that's cool. If your last card is Lightning Bolt, I'm still in trouble. There are now 2 creatures in the graveyard I can eat with Ooze. Eat Channeler. I'm at 6. Being at 7 and 6 is the same thing, but still use your graveyard as a resource. Okay, dead to Lightning Bolt. And feeling pretty good against anything else. Here we are. Yawg on top, Strangleroot Geist. Maybe I should have just laid into my own graveyard with Ooze instead of playing Geralf's Messenger, make sure I'm out of bolt range. Yeah, that was probably the better play. Okay, don't bolt me. I'm asking nicely. Second Murktide also kills me because it puts +3 on the first Murktide. Maybe just like cast Dragon's Rage Channeler and pass the turn. How about that? Yeah, that was really bad. I should have been paying attention to my life total and targeted my own graveyard with Ooze. But I thought I had Yawgmoth in play and they were tapped out, so I thought I had more stuff to do. Yeah, specifically Submerge there. I was pretty sure they didn't have Force at that point. Yeah, the Submerge was good. Land. Okay, 1 card left in hand. Cracking the fetch land. Mystic Sanctuary puts EI on top and makes Murktide a 5/5. Okay, I'm at 2. Brainstorm finds your EI. EI can find Murktide or Lightning Bolt to win the game. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of looks, but it's not the bolt in hand. Okay. You're seeing 1 card you haven't seen already, +2 off the Brainstorm. Exile to Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's not a good card here. 1 card in hand. Dragon's Rage Channeler put straight in the graveyard. Are you fucking with me? Do you have the bolt? Yeah, this is either a slow roll or a didn't find it. Maybe not necessarily a slow roll. Like, maybe... Oh, okay. Oh, that doesn't do enough. Yeah, they could put me to 1, but yeah, only 1 Brainstorm in the graveyard. That grows Murktide Regent. We got the GGs in the chat. Yeah, the Submerge was really good. It changed the information I thought I had. If I knew Yawg was leaving play, I obviously would have just chewed up my graveyard, protected my life total, but wow. All right, 2-0 against Delver. Put that one on the board. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. Lost the final die roll. That's lucky. Get to keep complaining. I'm also going to keep my hand. Got some Hierarchs and Tutor and WinCon. Playing as Twinless Twin. I'm getting like tempo vibes from this person. I would say Delver, but they fetched for Watery Grave while I was saying that, so must be some sort of Death Shadow. Still a good deck to go basic land mana dork against. And I played some Grixis versus mono green Strangleroot Geist in Modern many years ago, back when mono green Strangleroot Geist was a defensible Modern strategy. Let me tell you, matchup's tough from the Grixis side. Can't beat Strangleroot Geist. Snuff out. All right. Just a quick little Death Shadow. Fair enough. Assassin's Trophy. Do I want to make that move? Or do I want a Zenith for Veteran Explorer? I think I want a Zenith. They both get blown out by days. What does this change? I guess the difference is if Trophy resolves, the pressure's off. If Zenith resolves, I have a 1/1 in play versus their 4/4. And like Snuff Out plus Thoughtseize, like take my trophy, kill my creature, mash. I could just lose anyway. Zenith could also get something better than Explorer if I wait on it. If Trophy resolves and I buy some breathing room here, then I can like Zenith for the Geist, which goes off with the Yawg. I'm gonna get Swamp either way. I think I talked myself into Assassin's Trophy. Yeah, I'm doing that. I can't not cast a spell. You can't just completely play around days here, but you can sequence your less important thing into the days. Force pitching Murktide. Okay. Yeah, Force of the Will's fine. I love to see a Force and a Murktide leave the game. So much better than getting dazed. Already made a plan where I was okay to get that countered. Just 5 from the Death Shadow. Playing out more creatures would be kind of a bummer. Mag Angler. Yep. Okay. Sylvan Library. Never not just great, right? Always a delight to see that one. None of these creatures are humans. Unfortunately. That would make my life much easier. And because I fetched basic lands, I can't cast 2 spells here. I could Zenith for Explorer, sack Explorer, have 4 mana to play Yogg or Ignoble plus Sylvan Library. That's not going anywhere though. I could also just Zenith for the Geist, like I said. Zenith for Ooze doesn't help me at this point. Too slow. Zenith for Grist. That's a next turn play. And I have no creatures to sack anyway. Yeah, that's not even good. Okay, I'm gonna Zenith for the Explorer. I think how this game needs to go is I juice up my resources this turn and then hope to survive combat and then win next turn. Daze, okay. I will pay for Daze. Must have just drawn that because they wouldn't have forced if they could Daze last turn. The Daze is smart. It taps my Phyrexian Tower, but putting a blocker into play, like my thing still dies, and I wasn't really using this mana this turn anyway. Veteran Explorer, get in there. Pass the turn. Brainstorm. Snuff Out kills me. Any removal spell. Snuff Out. Oh. Fetch, Shock, Fatal Push. Is that enough? No. Still one short. Oh, Ponder. They're looking for Snuff Out, which is definitely lethal. Maybe don't find it, please. Did not shuffle. Don't like that. Back, block the 8/8, of course. Yes, use the ability. I'm going to get 2 forests because Urborg's in my hand. Let's load up on the color I don't have tons of. Okay, let's see. A good draw here. That could be Dryad Arbor, but not if I play Urborg, which is required to cast my Yogg. Okay. I'm going to play Yogg first, and then Ignoble, and then pass the turn. I can block Death Shadow, put a -1 counter, like sack the Ignoble, put a -1 counter on Gurmag, go to 4 here, draw a card, -1 on Gurmagio. Cabal Therapy is not what I wanted. And Fetch for Dryad Arbor is another activation, it's another card. If they had removal, they would have just cast it pre-combat and killed me. What do I think might be in your hand? I guess I Cabal Therapy, Force of Will, just in case. Let's get a look. Cabal Therapy, Force of Will. Reanimate and Stubborn Denial. Okay, Stubborn Denial's a bummer. How do I survive this turn? Oh, I can make Gurmag a 3/3, block it with Yogg. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna Cabal Therapy, the Stubborn Denial. There's nothing that kills me in my graveyard. Okay, good. Yeah, reanimating from my graveyard's not great here. Dryad Arbor is in the mix there. And pass the turn. Please don't draw a removal spell. I can untap at 2 life here, get 3 looks with Sylvan Library, and see if the game is over. Stifle beats me, Snuff Out beats me, Fatal Push beats me, etc. Here's the attack, here's the fetch. Get Dryad Arbor. Block Death Shadow with Arbor, block 4/4 Gurmag with 2/4 Yawgmoth. Before damage, put a -1 counter, sacking the Arbor. Gurmag a 3/3, Strangleroot Geist is lethal. And Gurmag plus Geist is 3 damage if they don't have a blocker. Again, I'm sure they don't have removal spell because I would have died already to that. I could just reanimate one of my creatures to block with. Make sure Yogg doesn't go over the finish line, but I can Geist, Yogg, kill whatever they reanimate. Okay. We actually have a really good chance of winning this game right now. Trophy and Library. Library on top and Trophy on top. I can draw that with Yogg. And green. Here's a Geist. Is there a card I'm worried about? Cabal Therapy, sacking Strangleroot Geist. If they stifle my Undying Trigger, I'm on tilt. Okay, we did it. Just good old limited combat math. Just with Draft Bomb Yawgmoth versus Draft Solid Common Gurmag Angler. Okay, big creatures versus tricksy creatures. Wow, okay. Plague Engineer I like. Their creatures don't fly, so I love a Death Touch body, which is way less relevant now than it was against Delver than it used to be when they had like Tarmogoyfs and stuff. Now all their creatures fly, but good stuff. Collector Oof, not important. Sylvan Library is a little tricky because sometimes Shadow takes its time with like Thoughtseize, Hymn to Turok, whatever, and then just plays a big creature in the mid game where Library is great. And sometimes they Delver you out. And sometimes they don't even have Delver. They probably have Murktide. I know they have Gurmag. But Endurance isn't even really that good against them because it doesn't beat any of their creatures in combat. I'm leaving in the Cutthroat. I think the Library should come out. Just bring in a bunch of removal. Ralph's Messenger is a sticky thing. Gargaroth is pretty sticky. It does get snuffed, though. That sucks. Doing all that work just to get snuffed out. I don't like that. Yawgmoth, MVP. That could save you like 18 damage from a single Death Shadow. Veteran Explorer is great. Assassin's Trophy is great. Ooze is solid. Intent might be tricky. It's either Gargaroth or Intent, I think, is the last cut. Because they have Stubborn Denial and soft counters, and getting an Intent soft countered where you also lose a creature is rough. I think I like Gargaroth. It's just smaller than their creatures. It's bigger than Gurmag, smaller than Death Shadow. Does not get deeded, though. That's for sure. All right, I'm cutting an Intent. I'm going to give Gargaroth a chance to ride. It showed up in match 1, game 1, and then never again. I like these Zeniths. And they make me play off curve, but they are just sticky creatures. I could get Yawgmoth if they're coming in hot, and Explorer if they're not. And a Ponder. Should probably just spend one of them on Arbor immediately. Arbor does get snuffed. Don't like that. But I do like getting ahead of days. There's my Arbor. Remember that one from last game? MVP. I mean, I think Yawgmoth was actually the MVP, but Dryad Arbor was part of the sequence. Snuff out. Okay. I just enabled a turn 2 Death Shadow by putting a creature into play. I know what I've done. All right, I'm going to put Strangleroot Geist into play. I can't play around Wasteland here, so I'll put the Yavimaya in. At least play the land that doesn't hurt me. How do you feel about this unbeatable creature? With its sideways Princess Mononoke head. It's in play. Love to see it. I'm not going to attack. Do I block? I think so. I think we're just here to absorb damage. Yeah, there was a fetch land face up, and then they had cycled Street Wraith. There was no world where like this card was actually trading with Death Shadow, but I didn't want to just take a burst of 5 to 9 or more damage when it was avoidable. Wasteland, yep, tilt. One straight to 6, playing a second Shadow. Aggressive. Okay, this is going to be the big play of the game. If my Veteran Explorer can come into play and enable a Pernicious Deed next turn, which it was not able to do. Opponents at 5. Oh, I'm just dead. That was, okay, yep. That was why you play this deck. Put yourself to exactly 1 for a turn 4 Goldfish. Good shit. Okay. Is Thoughtseize better than Therapy? Probably not. I like Zulaport Cutthroat a lot. Diabolic Intent is already a one of. And maybe Gargaroth should just be Thoughtseize. But is putting 1 Thoughtseize in my deck gonna change the matchup significantly? And I could turn Intent and Gargaroth into 2 Thoughtseizes. It's just a really bad... Both of those cards are better mid and late game top decks, but Thoughtseize is better in the early turns. Alright, I'm just gonna be... I think Intent is bad. And Endurance or Thoughtseize... Is Gargaroth even a magic card? And the Thoughtseize complements the therapies. It's not like I'm bringing 1 random discard spell. And I could just cut Endurance. I've been saying it's not great here. I kind of like Thoughtseize on the play a lot. I'm moving into a plan that involves heavy disruption. Gargaroth against the Snuff Out deck. I think I should chill on that. God, it's so good though if they don't have exactly Snuff Out. Endurance. I already cut an intent. Could cut Young Wolf. It's very good at blocking at low resource situations, but very bad at everything else. Okay, I'm doing this. I've made my choice. But I have the Thoughtseize, but no second land. I'm gonna have to mulligan this one. God, this is so close to exactly the hand I want in this matchup. All right, mulligan. No, not like this. Okay, I'm finally keeping a hand. I'm gonna send Nurturing Peatland and I guess Bayou to the bottom. I'm just betting that this Veteran Explorer on turn 1 will at least die. If they force this, I probably lose. Wraith in response. Please resolve, please resolve, please resolve. All right. At least it resolved. Wasteland, yeah, whatever. The big money has already been paid out here. Phyrexian Tower. Sack my homie. Get a swamp and a forest. Swamp and forest. Which lets me Geralf's Messenger. Reducing their life total may not be the best plan, but that is a big old sticky creature I can put into play. And it works well with Phyrexian Tower. They did not come up with a basic. That's good to know. Probably take Trophy here. Yep. Yeah, I could Trophy, just strip mine them. Back with Geralf. This level of aggression might be ill-advised, but I'm pushing. I'm going to name Human just in case they have Delver. They might not even have it in their deck, but I'm going to name it all the same. This is a Death Touch creature for the things that are bigger than humans. Cycle Street Wraith go to 8. I mean, I can sack Geralf at will and deal 2 to them. So they have to be, like, at least a little bit careful with their life total here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you have Force of Will? How do I want to do this? If I attack for 5, they're still not dead. And in fact, I'm dead. I'm just going to cast Grist. Daze. Are they just trying to tap me out of tower? Or did they have double daze? Like, I could just sack Geralf here. Ping them. And have 2 mana in the pool. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to get double dazed here. Grist is in play. Now I can kill a shadow or I can make an insect. If I kill a shadow with Geralf, I think I want to make an insect. Yeah, the insect's also black. You can't snuff that out. I think I'm going to just turtle back a little bit. Try to push next turn. Definitely dicey. They have a lot of power and toughness in play. There's a fetch land. There's even more power and toughness. And Fatal Push that creature. Okay, they can remove Grist or just come towards my face. This will be an interesting decision point in the game. And I would love to draw Pernicious Deed. They're just attacking Grist, which means I don't even have to think about blocking because it's dead anyway. An insect doesn't help. You're at 5. Do you have a third shadow? Or no, Gurmag's coming. Ugh. This is so many creatures. Yeah, the creature draw is really rough to contend with. I'm going to draw a card off Nurturing Peatland using my Phyrexian Tower. Yeah, I think, yeah, just having the colored mana made sense there. That's a blocker for a little while. I could push them down to 4. I lose my insect. Or I push them to 1 and I lose my messenger. I could just attack with everything and they go to 3. They go to 2. And then I'm mega dead on the backswing. Yeah, I think I just need to put my blockers up. Brainstorm. Shocked in Watery Grave. They're making moves here. 2 big creatures attacking. I just want to block with Strangle Root and take 10. I'm not ready to lose creatures here. Okay, they're dead on the backswing. Unless they have another creature. Oh my god. Mon Assassin's Trophy. Green Sun Zenith. I can get Grist with this. Daze. Umber Denial. All really good. I think I just have to Zenith for Grist here. And hope it works. Yeah, I mean, this is it. And my Undying creatures have both undied already, so I can't use my tower to get ahead of Daze. Stubborn Denials just gets me anyway. Maybe just let my spell resolve. No! And now I am dead. Yeah, it wasn't there if I sacked the insect. 1 creature short. And now they have 3. Alright, I guess I'll pass the turn, line up my blocks, and see if there's a top deck that I forgot about that somehow deals 3 to them. Oh wait, did I miss lethal there? If I just get Geist, then they block. Oh yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah. I played into days when I didn't need to. For some reason I thought Geist wasn't enough, but I forgot that I still have my insect. In my brain I had already sacrificed insect to Grist, which wasn't in play yet. Yep. Geist would have done it and played around days to do it. Oh, we might get there anyway. Alright, dead to a removal spell. Yeah, okay. They're saying in the chat they shouldn't have attacked with Angler. I missed lethal, and then they overpushed on an attack that doesn't change the clock and gave me an out. We both made mistakes that game, but it's more important to make the first mistake than the last one. All right, 4-1 with Yawgmoth. Our loss to Jeskai control with white removal, and then we beat a bunch of decks without white removal. Or we lost to the deck with white removal and a combo kill. We beat the deck with white removal and not a combo kill. All right, a lot of cool stuff came up here. Cool combat tricks, like the Death Shadow matchup where it really was just like limited style combat math, just with very flashy creatures. The Yawgmoth game where we were just block shrink, then the Gurmag was small enough to block with Yawg and then win on arrival when we're dead next turn. That was cool. We got some actual combos, we got some grinds. We went into creature beat mode against the Leyline. This was a good league, and this deck felt pretty solid. And the only cards in this deck that are legacy exclusive are Phyrexian Tower, Cabal Therapy, Veteran Explorer, Diabolic Intent, Sylvan Library, and Greensun Zenith. I mean, I guess 6 cards, many of which are 4-ofs, is a pretty large number of cards that are different overall. But the core of this deck is a modern deck, and we just souped up the edges with legacy cards. Diabolic Intent was honestly pretty bad. That could probably be something else, just something else that feeds the system a little better. When I'm drawing just X cards, where X is my life total -1, there's not really a way to ramp mana in this deck to get Zulaport Cutthroat straight into play. Like, Zenith is mostly an upgrade to Court of Calling and Eldritch Evolution, but both of those cards put non-green creatures directly into play, where Zenith only gets green creatures. Intent for Cutthroat is a 4-mana line, where Eldritch Evolution, sacking one of your random 1-drops, is a 3-mana line that only takes green, and this takes double black. So maybe there's something there. Maybe Eldritch Evolution is just a better card anyway, even though Diabolic Intent is legal in this format and it's not in Modern. Maybe you split them. Not sure. Yeah, that was that's the weakest link to me. Elder Gargaroth also in a format with Swords to Plowshares, and Murktide Region is just bigger than it. Maybe we can do something better with the generic large body that is also green slot. I'm not sure what that would be. Maybe like Hornet Queen. Good luck with that, Delver. Elder Gargaroth stomps, goes wide and like digs you out of different situations than Hornet Queen does, but thinking about what this metagame is actually asking you to do, maybe that's a better card. It also costs more. I think it's a 6-drop. It might be 7 even. Ugh, that's a lot of mana. 5 is such a good number on Elder Gargaroth. There is that new gorilla thing from Dominaria United that has a bunch of words on it. I don't remember the name of that card or what the words are. I'm looking it up right now. Silverback Elder is the card. It's a 2/GGG/5/7 Ape Shaman. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put a land from among them onto the battlefield tapped, or you gain 4 life. Yeah, that's not better than Elder Gargaroth. And it's also still smaller than Murktide Region and doesn't even have reach. Never mind. That's not the solution. But to my point anyway, Diabolic Intent and Elder Gargaroth, I think, are the flexiest slots here. You could go deeper into the Green Sun package. You could play another Geralf's Messenger. That card was pretty good just on rate in any sort of fair matchup. And when you can float a Phyrexian Tower or Yawgmoth so they can't get plowed, it's a pretty sticky threat as well. Just, yeah, maybe you want to go there. I did not like Sylvan Library. It was good once, and it was bad 2 or 3 times. Again, small sample size, but maybe we could do something better with that slot as well. And as always, if your metagame is stacked up with Busted Combo, Null Rods, Mindbreak Traps, those are colorless cards that you could stuff into your sideboard. We have the Collector Oof main, but you could do more if you need to. We also have all the discards, so we're never really ice cold to those things. And the endurances. Yeah, we're actually pretty naturally resilient to combo. I'm going to leave this here. Those are my thoughts. I've identified the flex slots. We put up a 4-1 with this and felt good. Yawgmoth, worthy of our respect. Luca, this is a pretty sweet deck. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the links in the video description below that help the channel, especially the Patreon. That's the big one, but all those sponsors as well. Click on them, help them out. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.